最后呢，我们请廖天琪女士为我们用英语这个诵读我们这次活动的主题。So next, welcome Liao Tianqi, and he will to describe our topic of this protest.
是我来念一下这个。Ladies and gentlemen, today the world situation is so terrible, so tragic. We all hope that the war in Ukraine will end it very soon. But do you know, when the free world are supporting Ukraine and Ukraine people to resist and to protect their own territory and their own rights, who is supporting the aggressor? Who is supporting the Russian? Who is supporting Putin to make the invasion to Ukraine? I think some of you know who has done that. And I will tell you, so far as we know, the Chinese Communist Party is supporting the aggressor, Putin, to do this aggressive war, which make the whole world suffering. Not only the Ukraine people, but all of us, all the people in Europe, all the people in the free world are suffering. Why do I say that? I'll tell you some of the facts. Discussing the sensitive findings, two senior President Biden's administration officers said on April 12 that in 2023, about 90% of Russia's microelectronics came from China. Think about that. 90% of all the electronic weapons are coming from China. Russia uses this to build missiles, tanks, and airplanes. Nearly 70% of Russia's approximately 900 million in machine tool imports in the fourth quarter of 2023 came from China. So that is the reason why this war in Ukraine will not end, why the whole world are suffering together with the Ukraine people. Now you know that. And I also want to tell you, some of the people standing here, some of these young people from China, they are Christians. They are 基督徒. They suffered, not only they themselves, but also their families are suffering under the suppression, religious suppression through the Chinese Communist Party. These young people, their parents, their sisters, their siblings in China are suffering because the government suppressed all the religions. Buddhism, Christian, Muslim, all are suffering under no freedom of religion. Over there are some Falun Gong people, Falun Gong practitioners. They are suffering under Xi Jinping and under Jiang Zemin's regime. They are protesting every day in the whole world. So you know that China is a dictatorship. There is no freedom of religion. no freedom of press, no freedom of expression. Couple of minutes ago, I presented Liu Xiaobo to you. He is the Nobel Peace Prize winner of 2010. He was a writer, he was a philosopher, he was a thinker, and I myself is a writer too. And I used to be the president of the Independent Chinese Pen. Dozens of our colleagues, writers, journalists, and even lawyers are sitting in Chinese prison. They have done nothing but have expressed their will to have a free society. They are promoting human rights in China. Just because of that, they are in prison. Some of them are decades in prison. For instance, Gao Zisheng, he is a lawyer, and he tried to protect the rights of the discriminated Christian, Buddhism, and even Falun Gong. And he spent several years in prison. And now, 7 years ago, he has served all the imprisonment. He has served his so-called punishment. He should be free, but he disappeared after he released from prison. Now he disappeared since 6 years. Nowadays, we don't know where is Gao Zisheng. Where is Gao Zisheng? We don't know. Where are some of the Christians? They are in jail. We don't know where they are. This is why we are standing here and we protest. We want to have freedom of expression. We want to have freedom of religion. We want to have the rights for all the Tibetans. We want to have the freedom of all the Uyghurs and all the Hong Kong people, and the Taiwan people don't want to live in a horror because the Chinese so-called Liberation Army send their airplanes, send their military ships circling around Taiwan day after day. This is a terror regime. This is a regime who does not respect its own constitution. Because in Chinese constitution, the religious freedom and religious of expression, religious of demonstration is written down, but it's only an empty words. So we want really end the Chinese Communist Party because it is a state terrorism. We want to end this party. Thank you.